What's up, Newark? I have a quick disclaimer to read before this interview. Before this interview begins, I want to acknowledge the victims connected to this case. Any harm, trauma, or loss that anyone experienced is real and serious. This conversation is not meant to dismiss, minimize, or rewrite anyone's experience. I respect that there are people who may still be dealing with the impact of what happened. My goal is not to take sides, but to understand the full picture and to ask questions about how our system works so situations like this are handled correctly and fairly. I also want to be clear about the purpose of this interview. I sat down with Lee Evans to hear his perspective and to better understand claims of corruption in the criminal justice system. The statements made in this interview are the claims and opinions of Lee Evans. I am not asserting these claims as facts, and I have not independently verified the allegations made against any individuals or institutions. This interview is presented for informational and discussion purposes only. Nothing in this interview should be interpreted as an accusation, conclusion, or statement of guilt against any person, organization, or government entity. Anyone mentioned is presumed innocent unless proven otherwise in a court of law. If any individual or organization reference would like to respond, clarify, or provide additional context, I welcome that conversation so the public can hear all sides. Enjoy and peace, Nork. Firstly, thank you for reaching out to me. I really, really appreciate it. I'm excited to share your story with my audience, and my goal is for our city to learn. Like there's a lot of information out there that we just don't have access to, and for me, I learn a lot by speaking to my elders and just listening. So that's the goal of this conversation, to ask some really interesting questions, but also to listen and hear your experience and all the insight that you may have to share.
Right.
When you talk to me, you smiling, you upbeat, you talk about spirituality, and that's the thing that I'm impressed with the most. And the fact that you had to defend yourself. Those two things are really, really impressive.
Mm. Well, it's a situation where I don't take credit. I felt the spirit coming in, and the same aspect is you give God the glory to everything.
So let's talk about that. 1978, 5 boys were murdered.
No, not murdered. It was missing.
Oh, they was missing. Okay.
Missing, yeah.
And the police came to you because apparently you were with the boys the previous day?
Yeah, the police didn't come into play until about 3 days later. And I'm talking to Miss Lily Williams. That's Pittman's mother. That's one of the boys' mother. I'm talking to her. Matter of fact, we was talking before they went missing. She came to me and she told me she was, nervous and scared because they did a crime. They broke in a house and stole a safe. So what happened was that Sunday morning early, I went by there to clean up the steps and take out where the tenants can come out the door, because at this time they were using the back exit. And I think one or two of the guys popped up. One that definitely was Michael, a cousin. Then all of a sudden they wanted to play some ball that morning. I said, okay, when I finish cleaning up, we'll go to Irvington Park.
So you were friends with them?
Yeah, well, I was a group there. My cousin was there too, across the street there, Darryl. But I didn't know the ones that's missing. I knew Michael, I knew Melvin, what they call Ricky, and the other kid, Randy. He was a dark-skinned kid. I remember him. But the other was just there.
And how old were they at the time?
They was all young. I mean, they was like from 16 to 18.
Okay, and you were 22?
About 22, 23, somewhere in there.
Okay.
My age. And they all jumped on the truck. We went to Irvington Park. Back then, on a Sunday morning, if you don't get to that park around 7:30 in the morning, you get a chance to get on that court right away. Mm-hmm. They out there. Mm-hmm. After 8 o'clock, they out there. So they was out there. The court was crowded. So we decided to go to Vailsbury Park, try to get a run because we wanted to play. Mm-hmm. Wasn't no court. So we went to Vailsbury Park that morning. When we got there, that court, same thing. I decided to go back. I'm going back home. Most of them stayed, because they're going to play. They're going to wait and get a run. You know how they run, you get a makeup game. And then I dropped them off. Then I went home. At that time, I'm at 979 Clinton Avenue.
So you dropped them off after y'all finished playing?
No, most of them, we didn't play.
Okay.
I didn't play. It was
Okay.
too crowded.
Okay.
And I came back and I dropped them off over on Fabian. And when I dropped them off, I said, okay, let me go. I went in and took a shower, changed up. Then I decided I was going to go to the hideaway and shoot some pool. So that's what I would do. I do shooting a lot of pool back then. So I went by the hideaways early, like maybe 12 o'clock or something, like midday. Nobody in there. The bar just opening up one that early, so wasn't nobody shooting. So I shot a game, put my quarter in, bricked the balls. I ran. When I finished running the balls, nobody came, so I said, okay, let me leave. Then when I came back around, Michael popped up. He piped out. He seen the truck. But my truck had big letters on it and everything. Everybody, if you see my truck, you'd know it, I stopped and I told him I got to move some boxes. He went back around, got the guys together. I think it was all together about 7 guys, not 5. And then we went back up there to my place. I was on the 3rd floor. And what I was doing was when I was moving the boxes, they're already packed. So I'm passing them to them, and they walking them downstairs like a train, until they fill the truck up. And we did that about 2 times, with the boxes. The house I was closing on, I had the keys already. I had to get the C of O. We was buying the house from this German lady, older German lady. She went back to Germany already. But I had access to the keys because I had to get a CO. I had to do the repairs and get everything set. So I had possession of the house already. And when we went back over Grove, went down Clinton Avenue, dropped them off on Clinton Avenue and Fabian Place. This on the right side is Fabian Place. On the left side is 18th Street coming out to Fabian Place. And right there on the corner used to be an ice cream parlor right there. So when I paid them, they went in there to break the money up, amongst whatever they was doing.
So you paid the boys for helping you move boxes?
Right, for move boxes. And then that's the last time I seen them.
That's the last time you ever seen them in your life?
Yeah, that's the last time I seen them when I dropped them off.
So the first time you knew that they were missing was when the detectives came?
No, the detective didn't come yet.
Okay.
I'm talking to Miss Lily Williams. That's the same one told me that they had broken and stole a safe. And I know everybody know about that safe. But what throwing me in a loop also, did she tell the police? She didn't told the police about that. They kept that out the discovery.
Oh, okay.
That case there with no safe, no break-in, no nothing. She came to me and said, Miss Lily Williams said, the boys, they went to the boys' house and they found marijuana in the house. I only told her this. No one else on this planet. And it was crazy on my behalf, but nevertheless, not for telling her before what I was doing at the time. And there wasn't no reason for it because I had a good job, making money, doing everything, and I ain't accomplished nothing out of that.
So you was working with the boys with marijuana somehow?
No. I was never working with them with marijuana. I told her that she said they had marijuana.
Okay.
They found marijuana at the house or whatever. Okay. I told her only. I said, somebody broke in and stole something from me.
Oh, okay.
I told only her, though. Okay. Lily Williams, the boy's mother.
Okay.
Now, when it full circle come, when the police come involved, it was Scott Bay and Harris, the 2 detectives was involved. And they came to me. He said, listen, we don't care nothing about the marijuana. The only thing we wanted the boys, this and that. And it didn't really register me on where did they get that information from.
And you saying that they got it from Miss Lily?
That's the only place they could get it, from Miss Lily. But they got it back then, but I didn't know it. And The only way that clicked to me, believe it or not, when I was sitting in that cell they had in 2010 when they got me, you're sitting there, all the stuff goes through
Yeah.
your head. And I said, that's how the whole thing came about. That's why they asked me to come down and ask questions. They wanted me to do a polygraph. I said, yeah, whatever you want. I did the polygraph. I did everything they wanted me to do. Then they turned around and there was like 4 or 5 detectives there. And then one of them said, hey, we're going to have to arrest you. Arrest me for what?
And this was in 1978.
78.
Okay.
Not physically put me in the jail, but just say, okay, you paid the bail or whatever and walk
Okay.
out of there. I said, you trying to tell me you going to arrest me for a ticket and you got 5 people missing? That's what I said down there. That's when I cut it off. That's why I didn't want to be involved no more. I'm giving up all my time to try to give a lead. If I don't put no lead in there, I'll never be involved.
Oh, so you thought you was helping?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm helping. I'm not helping. Back then, I'm helping. I'm the one said they was with me, but not them 5. I said that, but it wasn't no exactly that 5.
So you thought so now when you think about it, you're just saying that the fact that you was trying to help and be honest, you saying that backfired on you.
Yeah, you try to be a good Samaritan. You try to say, okay, maybe my lead can help them pick up from wherever they was and go from there. But it came back and shot back to me. Just like you go and see somebody laying out there on the street and you call the police and you stay there, be naive and stay there. And then the first thing they say when they get there, well, what's your name? What you doing there? Where you come from, or where you going, all this, they drill you, but nevertheless, that was the situation I was in. My mother taught me, if you're innocent, don't go nowhere. I've been in Newark, right here, the same place. You think somebody do something that horrible, gonna be right here? You gonna take off and go. And I ain't talking about South, you gonna leave this country.
So they arrested you after they brought you in for questioning, and you got off because you just paid the $30 ticket?
No, that's the only thing they had. They say, I'm arresting you because we had a warrant on you.
Okay.
Now, getting back to that is interesting because I paid the ticket. I paid the bail, but I still have to come to court for that ticket. Now, the crazy thing, I don't know whether I got home or in the car. I looked at the ticket. I said, whoa. The ticket not even mine. It say Lavert Evans on it.
Who's that?
That's my brother. So they knew. So, all right. So I came back to court, told the judge that he dismissed my case like that. But every year they put it in the paper and say Lee Evans was the last one seen with him. Who else? Only reason the last one seen means I'm the one gave up information.
Yeah.
But yet and still, now you the last one seen with him.
Yeah.
And they was going with that. And they try to put the marijuana crisscross.
So basically, I just want to make it clear. So you got off in 78, and
No, it wasn't no get off. I wasn't like that. It was just a ticket. We were just paying for a ticket. That's it.
So basically,
I did the polygraph, did everything they want. Everything was straight.
Yeah, and then they wasn't. All right, so basically, I want to say they weren't looking at you as a suspect anymore.
They didn't look at me as a suspect.
Okay.
Because what happened was Scott Ben Harris went on. Then somebody else picked it up later on.
And by later on, you mean decades later,
right?
In 2008.
But now going back, go back to 78.
Yeah.
I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. You know why? Because everybody lied. Everybody telling lies. The prosecutor tricked them. They tricked them. I don't know how much money they paid them or just did it just to say, okay, we're going to get him. And gave them a story. And they used that story against me. What I mean by that is if you tell, say for instance, if you give 99% of a truth and tell a lie on 1%, you just altered the whole scenario.
So again, right? So just to piece this all together, you're saying that the connection that they try to make with you and the boys was the marijuana.
Right. The connection they made with me, they said the boys broke in the house and stole marijuana from me.
From you, okay.
From me. Listen, all this information didn't come up in 78. It didn't come up in 88. It didn't come up in 98. In 2008, all this stuff just came up from nowhere. All this information came out from nowhere.
So you moved on. You said, I didn't have anything to do with it. I shared the information willingly with the police and in hopes that it could help. And then decades go by.
Right.
Decades go by, and then randomly in 2008,
Everything come out.
and all right, so what was that initial moment where you knew that this, when everything had resurfaced? What happened in 2008?
I didn't know it in 2008. I
Oh,
didn't
you
know
didn't
nothing.
know it.
All this was behind the scene. I didn't know nothing.
Oh, okay. So you saying based on you doing research, you realized that they started the investigation again in 2008.
No, no, no. Only way I found out is when they came and shackled me up, and I got this discovery
And what year was that?
in 2010,
So in
March.
2010. So from 1978 to 2010, you just was living your life.
Right.
And then randomly,
They didn't even ask me questions. They came and shackled me up just like that.
so you were home?
No, I was at the shop preparing some jobs for guys the next morning.
Okay.
I was cutting and threading some pipes and presetting
And
everything.
what was your profession at the time in 2010?
I was doing mostly plumbing and heating and
Okay.
electrical at that time.
So okay, so you was at the shop doing your job or whatever, and then boom, they
They
just
was
rushed
coming over
in.
the fence, and they didn't even announce themselves. Man, I'm so glad I wasn't violent, and so glad I didn't have no weapon or nothing, because all of them would have been shot.
Yeah.
They came. I thought they was coming and robbing. You know.
Wow.
And they had the state police in there. They had the Newark police in there,
Wow.
and they had the Essex County police in there. All of them came in there, and it was crazy. And
Wait, so are you confused or like what's going on?
man, I was in a shock. You know, I ain't know. I mean, I really listen. It took me a minute. Even when they shackled me, and even when they put me in that little hole, I'm locked up. I thought it was a nightmare. I said, man, I'm gonna wake up and this ain't gonna be. I'm telling you, it took me 2 days to come to a reality. This is
Yeah.
real.
So when did you know that, or okay, so when did you realize that this was from the five missing boys from 1978?
Oh, I knew that when they came. They told
Oh,
me.
they said it. Okay.
Yeah, they charged me
okay.
with the murder.
Oh.
They saying murder with five, and they saying they took them in the house and burnt the house down. They used Philatna statement.
And who's that?
That's my cousin who was locked up, and they forced him to make a statement. And if he don't do that, I think they was going to give him some kingpin charges on something else, because he had other charges in there.
Wait, was he around in 1978 with you and
Yeah.
the boys?
Yeah, he used to work for me, but I cut him off years ago. In '78, he was around.
So that day when y'all went to go play basketball,
Oh, he wasn't there.
Oh, he wasn't there.
No,
so like
he
he didn't
wasn't
help
there.
you with the boxes or anything.
No, he wasn't there.
So the last time you seen the boys and they were helping you with the boxes, your cousin wasn't around.
No. Mm-mm.
So how did they connect you in the case and your cousin?
What happened was my cousin was locked up, so they gave him some type of deal if he say this and say that. Not just that, they wiped all his files out, because I asked for his criminal records when I was representing myself. They gave me up to 1990. Everything else they wiped. They said nothing else. I told the judge. The judge said, "Well, that's what they gave, whatever." But it's most.
So you think that was part of the deal that they offered your cousin, where if
he tested, not just him, Bob Cutler. Bob Cutler was doing 50 years. So once he testified, he's free. He ain't got to get out of jail pass.
So it's two people that gave statements saying that you was involved, Bob Cutler and your cousin?
Right. Bob Cutler.
Okay, so Bob Cutler, was he with y'all that last day when y'all was moving boxes? And
I don't know. I didn't
Okay.
know him. I didn't know all of them.
Okay.
I don't know he was there or wasn't there. He turns around and made a statement in jail for them. What he said, they all broke in my house. He done broke in my house over 10 times. I said, if somebody break in your house that many times, you just might as well leave the door open. How somebody gonna break your house 10 times? Huh?
And by they, he meant you?
No, he said they broke in my house. Him and the boys, Bob Cutler saying this.
Oh, okay.
He giving that statement to them.
Okay.
That they broke in my house 10 times. But all that's fabricated. It's fabricated. Now, also he said, how did they get in? He said they went over the roof, down the fire escape, and came into the bathroom window. That's a lie. Don't forget, the building's still there now. Where I moved out, the fire escape's still there. Everything is right there for you to investigate for yourself. And plus, you got the little small kitchen window first. Then you got the bathroom. The only way you can get from that fire escape to that bathroom, you're going to have to be Batman or Superman or somebody. You got to have some wings or something, a rope or something. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you can go and look at all that, what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I got his report. You know, I got the transcript from the court. I got everything. And then he said also, Bob Cutler now, this is the crucial thing. He said when he got back from Atlantic City, the bus ride, he walked his girlfriend. He was around the house with his girlfriend for a few minutes on Leisure Street. Then he walked back around to Beverly Street. The families know the streets and all that, what I'm saying, on Beverly Street. And he said he was with all of them. Now, don't forget, it's almost 12 o'clock right now. I got this statement, too. I got all the statements. Every statement was made, I have. Now, for Lantner saying, we walked them boys into this fire in this building at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then he turned around. He said, when we walked them in, he said, we only had 3. I left him with the 3, and I went back to get the other 2. Then he said, we came back. When I came back with the other 2, he said, I came up with a big red 5-gallon can of gas. He had to say red.
He said you did that.
I came back with the other 2 boys. They just walking with me now. Everybody's walking with me. They did this to me now. Why would they come up in this building like this?
Yeah.
So he said, the crazy thing, went to the 3rd floor, he said. Went to the 3rd floor with a 5-gallon can of gas. And then he said, had the boys, they walk into the closet. No, they just walk right on in. Ain't no scuffle and no hype or nothing. They put 5 boys now gonna go in the closet. How's that? Now they get in the closet. He said, I came with a hammer and 1 big nail. I got that in this tray right here. Everything is right here. He said, I came with a hammer and 1 big nail and nailed the closet shut. Now, first of all, nail ain't gonna hold nothing, you know. So anyway, that's what he said, nailed the closet. When he nailed the closet, he said, took the gas and ran it around the room, and I asked him for a match because I ain't have a match. Now, I'm gonna come with a big 5-gallon can of gasoline with no match, no lighter, no nothing.
And again, that's in the docs.
That's in there.
Yeah.
That's all in these documents, right, what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is just in the statements.
Yeah.
He said, no, he said, he knew he had matches because he smoked. So he said I wanted him to light it also. He said he wasn't gonna light it. He didn't light it. He said he gave me the match though, and he stood by the door, the back door, he said, right in here. And he said, I went in there and lit it. He said, when I lit it, it was so ferocious, it knocked him off the first landing down to the next landing.
And what did he say happened to you?
Ain't that amazing? Ain't that amazing?
Oh, he said nothing happened to you and only something happened to him?
Yeah, only him. He ain't mentioned me at all. He made that statement in 2008.
So that's the story your cousin made.
No, that's the story they gave him to make.
Yeah.
They put together for him, but I guess they might have didn't tell him. They probably just say he talked free or something. And he went too free.
So so just to put this together, you're saying that the last time you saw the boys was when you was basically working with them to move the boxes, right?
That was I'm not for sure whether all 5 was with me at the time. I'm saying I'm not for sure of that. I know Randy was there. I knew them, and I know Mike was there, and I knew Pittman was there.
So 3 out of the 5 boys.
I know, definitely.
Okay.
But it was 3 out of the 7. I mean, it was more than 5. It was 6 or 7 boys who I had there.
But I'm saying the ones who were
missing.
Yeah, missing.
Yeah, the ones missing.
So 3 out of the 5 boys, you're saying that the last time you saw them was moving the boxes.
Right.
And then 30 years later, someone else is saying this story about you lit them on fire.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, ain't that something? First of all, Philander had a plea deal. They gave him a plea deal. Now, anybody with common sense, anybody, just anybody got a little sense, not how to, you ain't got to be no rocket scientist or no genius, nothing like that, to know ain't nobody going to tell on themselves and then ask for a plea.
And what does that mean?
That means he done made a statement that he was with me and we burnt these, we set the house on fire and did all this here. Then he turned around and said, okay, I want to give me a plea for this. That plea wasn't for this. That plea was for the other charges that he
okay, I
had.
see what you're
He had
saying.
charges behind that. It was already he was already locked up
Okay.
when this thing came off. He was locked up already.
So during that 30 years from 78 to 2008, the 5 missing boys, like that was a big thing in Newark, right?
Yeah, it was a big
Okay.
thing. I mean, every year they put that anniversary in there.
Oh, okay.
Now,
So you're saying that it was a big thing, and whoever was to solve this case would be like a hero or something.
right, that's what Cory Booker came in. Cory Booker.
Cory Booker.
Oh, yeah, Cory Booker, the Essex County prosecutor. There's a few people who's going to enhance their careers behind this. And then they brought me back downstairs to take me back to the county. So I'm coming down. When I come down, I can look out the front there. You got about 30 reporters just that fast. They came up like, where they come from? We came in that building, it was dark and empty. Now all them people's out there with all them lights.
Wow. So
Less than an hour and a half or 2 hours, all them people's on the scene. All them reporters out there. Now,
so you saying that all this was like set up for publicity?
Of course, it was set up. Everything was set up. The whole show.
All right. So Cory Booker was the mayor at the time,
Right.
And again, this was a big, high-profile case from 1978.
Right.
Every single year, you said they would like do all these memorials about
Every
these.
year.
Okay.
Every year. It's in the paper. If you go back and check the archives of the paper, or go to the library, you're going to see them in the paper every year. Now, after
Okay.
2000, now what happened was when they came and did this here to me, Cory Booker and them had a press conference already ready.
So Cory Booker did a press conference
The same
about them
night.
arresting you?
The same night they had everything set up. The prosecutor, Cory Booker, everybody. His chief police, his chief director, everybody was there grandstanding.
So Cory Booker was basically just taking credit for your
Yes,
arrest.
he jumped out there and said, okay, we solved the case. He didn't say we got a suspect. He said this is Lee Evans who did the job. We got
So
him.
he basically went out to the public and basically saying that you was the person
I
that
was the person
murdered these boys.
Murdered the boys. The case is solved, he said. We ain't seen no court. We ain't been no arraignment or nothing. He said this on the network.
So how did you feel seeing your mayor just accuse you of something like
Well,
that?
at that time he wasn't my mayor, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, but I mean, originally,
it's my city though.
Yeah,
Newark is
yeah,
my
exactly,
city.
exactly.
It's
You from
always gonna be
Newark.
my city. Newark
Yeah.
always gonna be my city. But the idea of it, how did I feel? I mean, you was numb. I was numb, man, because I'm still thinking this ain't real.
Yeah.
You hearing all. You ever had a dream and you woke up and say, "Oh man, I'm glad I got out of there."
Lucky, yeah.
That's what it felt like. It felt like a nightmare, And then I went through the process, and then not just that. He went on Kiss at the time. Kiss
the
was
radio
there.
station.
Radio station. Went there on Sunday campaigning on that. Yeah, I solved the biggest cold case in the state. We solved this 30. No, he didn't say the 30. He said we solved the 40-year-old cold case.
Wait, so that was an election year with the election year.
Of course, 3 weeks before his election.
Wow.
Yeah, he campaigning hard on it.
So
yeah.
he used you for publicity and clout to say that I'm doing a great job in the city. Like, look at me solving these cases.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I'm running in buildings, putting out fires, saving people, and all this. Man, you should see the stuff he be saying,
Okay, so let's talk about the process, right? All this happened. You got the mayor basically embarrassing you on national and local TV. What happens next?
Like I said, they had a $5 million bail on me.
$5 million bail.
There was a $5 million bail. So they reduced the bail to $1,250,000. And at the arraignment, and nobody asked me, hey, do you need a lawyer? Can you afford a lawyer? Nobody asked me that. This guy just popped right up and said, I'm your lawyer.
A random person?
There's a lawyer, Mike Roberts. I might as well got the prosecutor if I'm going to use this guy.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. He's a pool lawyer. But when he said that, I didn't know what a pool lawyer was.
Yeah.
You know, all I know, he's a lawyer, and everybody was talking about, hey, listen, man, to cover this case is going to cost. The cheapest one was talking about $175,000, and then some said $200,000. And it took a short time for me to find out what he was about. You know.
So you think he was sent to?
He was planted. He was planted.
plant?
He was planted right for me to walk. He tried to walk me right down that hole and put me in that hole. Take me right through the woods, and they had a hole for me. And that was his job, to put me in it. Yeah. At this time, they didn't give me no documents or nothing.
They just told you that you were in here for the murder of the
That's
5
all
boys.
I had.
That's all
I had nothing else to know why I was there. And I said 2 things I wanted from him. I wanted a probable cause hearing, and I wanted all my discovery. Give me discovery. And then, because at this time, this guy will walk in, he don't have nothing. Somebody sweats and all, and he don't have no papers, no nothing.
So you saying that he wasn't professional at all?
He is professional. He made sure he didn't have nothing. He did his job. He's an excellent professional. Yeah, he professional already.
So he was sent to set you.
Yeah.
So he was sent to set you up, like you said.
Yeah. Okay. And if I would have followed that lead, I wouldn't be here talking.
Yeah.
So I knew he was connected with the prosecutor.
How'd you know that? Just by his actions?
Yeah. So what I do is, I know the phone is recorded. So all I got to do is get on the phone and talk. So I'm talking on the phone. I think I was talking to my son. I said, listen, go contact this lawyer here, and we're going to cut this guy off because this guy has not been conducive for us.
So they was listening to you, and you knew they was listening.
I know the prosecutor listening. So when I say that, he'll pop up now. The next day or two, he'll pop right up like I wanted it. Now, when he popped up over here, he pops up, and then he said, I told him what I wanted. And he said, well, I asked him about the discovery. He said, this is a lie he told me. He said the judge got it. The judge don't have no discovery. If the judge got your discovery, you got it. The discovery comes from the prosecutor office.
Oh. So basically he was just treating you like you was stupid.
Yeah, I was stupid to the point I didn't know no better. So I'm just saying when he said that, okay. But I remember him saying that.
Okay.
And then I said also, and I want my, and I need I need that probable cause hearing. Then he turns around to me and said, well, listen, I don't run my ship. Exact words he said, I don't run my ship like that. And I turned to him, I said, no, I am the ship. If you're going to do it, if you ain't going to do it, we're going to get somebody else to do it. Yeah. I want to do it. So we're going back and forth. Finally, he said, okay, we'll do it. He's going to go there. And he left out. So I got to stay here until they come get me and take me back to my spot and let him out. He goes out, but he opened the door, and when he opened the door, he looked back at me. He said, oh, you're going to get indicted anyway.
And this is the person I was supposed to be representing you.
Yeah.
He said that to you.
He said that to me. He said, you're going to get indicted anyway.
And then
And he left.
So it's is that when you knew you had to do the case yourself? At that moment?
No, not that moment.
Okay.
Not that moment. It didn't get there yet.
Okay.
It didn't hit me like that. So I'm looking for them to bring the indictment papers to me in the little hole there. I'm in a hole. They'll, pass your stuff through the little slot. And June 11th went past. I think June 15th came up. He turned around and told my son, I'm filing for the probable cause hearing. And I'm going to get the paper. Then, because he know he couldn't come back to me. So they set it up for me to get that probable cause hearing. It was set up for June the 28th. I'm waiting. My son and them, they at the court already. They waiting. He don't come get me. They tell the courts tell them, well, they didn't know, they couldn't find me. They told that lie. Then they came. I don't think they had their stuff together. Mm-hmm. That's why they pushed it out. Then they came.
Wait. So you saying that, again, Cory Booker was once an attorney, right? So you're saying that they didn't have their stuff together, but at the same time, he went on national TV and he said all of that, and on the back end, they didn't have their stuff together.
Right. When you become mayor, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
I know you got some work to do. I
For
mean,
sure.
especially in this era, because we need to change that course around. We need to stop this nonsense where you're going to get, what you call them, in-house informants to make a deal with the prosecutor, and all he had to do is say, yeah, he told me this, he told me that, and the prosecutor tell him what to say. And this stuff been working for years, man. And you got people right today locked up, innocent, and can't prove themselves.
Lee, man, you definitely helping me. You definitely helping me a lot, and I
Yeah.
appreciate this. But I need to truly understand, how did you decide to say I'm gonna do this myself? Because that's the story right here, where you're just like, I know something is wrong. I feel it in my intuition. I'm gonna do this myself.
Oh,
When was that
okay,
moment?
that moment, I'm going to bring that moment up.
Mm-hmm.
2000, June 2010, June the 28th, they didn't come get me. June the 29th, they came and got me. The next day, they came and got me and brought me in. This time, they gave me a little discovery. They didn't give me everything, but they gave me enough to work with. They gave me a little discovery, and the lawyer, he's talking. He got me shackled up like I was King Kong somebody. Got chains around my ankle everywhere, man. Chains everywhere, around my waist, arm. So I'm sitting there. Now, the judge there, and he's saying, first of all, he said he denied the probable cause hearing. I learned already. That's a violation of your civil rights. That's Kearney versus State. If you look up Kearney versus State, that whole thing lays out everything about that probable cause hearing, because unshady prosecution and police and all that other stuff. You have a right to make sure you investigate that. But now he denied it. So he denied it. When the judge denied that, and he ain't slammed no hammer down or nothing like that. And man, I don't know what made me, I just rose right up out the seat, just like that. I said, Your Honor, at this point in time, I'm here to exercise my right as pro se. I'm dismissing this man right here. I'm dismissing this lawyer right here. Just like that. He's there. I pointed at him. So I said, all right, first of all, Your Honor, this lawyer right here said you got the discovery and everything. Wouldn't give it to him. He said that. And then he's going to turn around and tell me, well, and don't forget, we got that. That's on transcript. Everything I'm saying on transcript. Then he turned around and say, well, I don't think he said that.
The judge said that.
Yeah, he going to tell me what he don't think he said.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, I want to drill on that. I just got on record what he said, and I wanted to make sure I got on record.
Yep.
And then I wanted to go to the next move. I said, also, it was a grand jury hearing June 11th. And I wanted to know what was going on. Prosecutor jumps up from over there. He jumps up. Well, Your Honor, the reason why it wasn't nothing on June 11th, we didn't have enough jurors. That's what he said. I'm listening to what he said. So then I was getting ready to say something. The judge jumped in and said, wait a minute, we need to get a break here, a timeout. I said, Your Honor, I'm not thirsty. It's on there. I'm not thirsty. I'm not hungry. We can go. No. We ain't going to do this. Then I come back up. Then I said, okay, I want to shoot this to him. I said, I wanted to know what was Philander Hampton. Oh, there's another crazy thing. What his statement was. When they locked me up and locked Philander up, he said he pleaded not guilty when they locked him up. If he pleaded not guilty, how they locks me up?
And all right, so explain that.
That's what I like to know. I like them to explain it. If he's saying not guilty, that means if he said not guilty, it's not what he said.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If he's saying he plead not guilty, so how are they going to lock me up? Only way he can lock me up if he say I'm guilty.
Oh, because he admitted to doing a crime with you.
With me. That's why I'm in here, because of him.
So then when he said not guilty, you're like, what the heck?
What I'm doing in here.
And all of this is, I have to keep saying this. All of this is in the files.
Everything is on file.
Wow.
Everything is on file. Everything is on file. Come to find out, it was a grand jury on June 11th. Not grand jury just on June 11th. May 13th. May 13th, it was a grand jury hearing. And it was no bill. I should have been dismissed right there.
Wait, why? Wait, all right. So explain why you should have been dismissed.
Because no bill. So the grand jury didn't indict me. They said no. You ain't got enough. You didn't prove your case. If they don't prove their case, then you can get a no bill. You should be dismissed.
Oh, so you saying that there were jurors there and they looked at the case without you being there?
Oh, you ain't gonna be there.
Okay, okay,
You
okay.
can't be in there.
Okay,
You
okay.
and your lawyer, only the prosecutor and
Oh, I see.
the sworn witness, like the detectives and stuff, will be in there.
Okay,
Now
okay,
we
okay,
go
I see
to the
what you're saying.
fire. We'll stay with the fire now. Go back to this fire. It was a crew chief at University Hospital. He's a crew chief, and his nephew is a Newark cop. He gets off at midnight at the hospital. His nephew, the cop, meets them over there. Pick them up. They coming across with a nurse on there named Pauline. I got a name that Pauline. Was three of them coming across Bergen, and they spotted the fire. So he phoned it in to fire. So in the meanwhile, they shot around the Camden Street. Them three. And somebody said, hey, it's a man in the building. There's a man in the building upstairs. So they ran upstairs to the third floor. There was a man up there with his TV on. He was intoxicated, sleep or whatever. They got him up, got him out of there, took him on out of there. Then they hollered again, said, oh, some kids on the second floor. Ran back into this building and brought two girls. It was all documented. I got the documents. Brought two girls out the same building they said that the boys was in. Brought the two girls out of the building. And then they said, the main thing is they were trying to get out of there before that, but the question was asked. Now they say they were trying to get it out of there before the fire truck blocked them in, and they couldn't take care of the business they had to take care of. And they got them fresh statements. They got statements from them in 2008 too. Lawrence Brown, Eugene Brown, I got their statements. I got both of them statements, and both of them is like similar to what they saying. And they asked him, he said, well, where the fire was coming from? He said, all he know, the fire was coming from the bottom up.
So you reading all of this in the discovery while you was in jail?
Well, over the pit, yeah. Everything didn't feed to me immediately. You know, you got to digest it. Every time I see something fresh.
Oh, so like even to this day when you
It might
looking
be
over,
might be some stuff in there. Just you know, you can't eat it all up. You know?
So at what point did they let you free because their evidence and their story was so faulty?
They didn't let me free. I had to fight for the freedom. I had to represent myself. I'm still locked up. Them detectives are idiot because they didn't think I was going to represent myself. That's what's happening. This stuff here didn't mean that. They just throwing it together.
Okay, so you got off on bail, and then you had to keep going back to trial?
No, I was out on bail.
Oh, you was out on bail. Okay.
But I'm going to tell you this here, though. Everything happened for a reason. You might need, because it's like this here. When you fall in that hole, when you fall in that hole, you're going to find out who come with the shovel to throw dirt on you or rope to help pull you out.
Yeah.
You're going to find out what's around you. You're going to find out who's there and who the real people's.
Yeah. So how'd you get acquitted?
Went through trial.
And you represent yourself throughout the trial?
Yeah. Now what happened was they put this other fake guy next to me, African guy, with me as a standby counselor. And the reason why they did that is because if I lose this case, I can't come back and say, hey, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
That was to make sure it's locked.
Yeah.
When they put a standby counselor there, and this guy, it's amazing. This guy was throwing some stuff in my ear. I said, you lost your mind. I told the judge, this guy need to get rid of this guy. He said, all you got to do, just tell listen what he said now. Just tell the judge, you know your cousin did it, but you ain't had nothing to do with it.
So the trial, you just defending yourself and you just exposing how faulty their case was, and then the jury just was like, we're not buying it.
Yeah, but they had the biggest jury pool. They had over 1,000 jurors on my thing.
Oh, wow.
There were so many they had to put them in different rooms and have monitors to get them in there.
Okay.
Do you know them prosecutors had planted their peoples in there?
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, they had prosecutors in the juror.
So when did you know during that trial that you was going to go home and be acquitted?
I didn't. But I tell you this, though. Doesn't matter which way it went, I wouldn't have changed mine. I wouldn't say, man, I should have did, because they gave me a plea. This the prosecutor office, they knew, after I gave all the information in the paper, they came up with a nice plea. First, they're going to try to shock me. They're going to say, Your Honor, if Mr. Evans gets found guilty on this charge, he's going to be doing 99 years. I knew the consequences already. And then on the old charge, if he gets charged found guilty, he's going to be doing 30 years on each count. That's 5 counts. That's 150 years he's going to be doing. They said that. It shocked me up. But it couldn't shock me. It wasn't, wasn't no fear in there. That's the key to everything. If you got fear, you're in trouble. And about 10 to 15 minutes later, they came back with it. Say, Your Honor, by the way, we got a plea deal on the table for Mr. Evans. And then he said, if he accepted, we'll sentence him 10 years, and we guarantee he only have to do 20%. So 20% is 2 years, plus I did 6 months. I'll be out in 18 months. 18 months, that was the plea they gave me.
So in your mind, you like 18 months or 99 years?
If you was guilty, you would have took that.
Yeah.
If you were guilty, but I came back. I said, Your Honor, you can tell that man right there. I wouldn't care if he say 3 months.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I wouldn't care if he say time served. I can walk out that door right now. He can keep all that.
Wow.
Because right then, my character's worth more than my freedom.
Yeah. So then the judge reads the verdict, and how are you feeling?
I didn't feel good. Because let me tell you something. When you put some pain or whatever you do to somebody, it don't, what it's supposed to do. It ain't no feeling. I didn't feel good. I ain't say, oh man, bye, 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 jump up and down. No, I didn't feel that. I still don't feel it. You still got 5 people missing out here.
Yeah.
You still got 5 people missing out here, and they trying to sweep it up under the rug. In this city here, they don't mention these boys no more. They done spent over, I say minimum $35 to $50 million on this case. They fighting right now to try to, they didn't spend so much money to keep Cory Booker from being deposed.
Okay, so you sued Cory Booker. I saw that.
All of them is in there. Every last one of them in the federal court. They did all kind of dirt. They still doing dirt right now. And now they went to the Third Circuit already. It's in the paper and all that. All is there. They're in the Third Circuit and tried to get immunity. But no. They say you got to bite that bullet. The crazy thing about it, it shouldn't be no civil suit. It should be a criminal suit. These jokers supposed to be in jail.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it's a sworn affidavit for my arrest. It's a sworn affidavit. And that Judge Vasquez signed off on it. And this here Correga put his signature on it.
And what's the significance of that?
You got to get the sworn affidavit before you file for arrest.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And they got all that. He got the, and that means what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
And there's consequences behind that. And they didn't just spit all on the court system.
What do you want change in this system, and how do you think that change can help other people who are falsely accused like yourself?
Right. I'm glad you asked that, because that's the most important thing right now. When you become mayor, I think you can work on the city of Newark, and I know you can't change the state and all this, but once you put a track record together, they got to follow your lead. And I think, number one, they got to stop that nonsense where you getting house informants and falsifying cases and claiming this guy said this and that side, and give him a deal to get out of jail, and he'll throw his mama under the bus to get out of there. Man doing 30 years or 40 years. But still, we got to stop that nonsense. The court system is a game now. It ain't about integrity. It ain't about justice, whether you're innocent or you are guilty. It ain't about that now. It's about a L and a W.
Yeah.
That's a loss and a win. Yeah. Why should a prosecutor fight and hide discovery from you, and he know the truth. He know you innocent. He gonna fight any kind of way he can. Why the prosecutor gonna get up there and suppress your evidence? The evidence can set you free and show that you innocent, but they'll suppress it.
Yeah.
What the purpose? We got to clean this system up. If they don't try to clean this criminal justice system up, it's gonna get out of control, and they ain't gonna be able to bring it back in. And I feel like when you become mayor, I think it's your obligation to try to bring the police and the citizens, the peoples together. They shouldn't be enemies towards each other. They need, and if you got some bad apples in that barrel, you got to get them out of there.
Lee, listen, your story, I told you this when I first spoke to you, like this should be a movie, man. And the fact that you still able to be upbeat, got a smile on your face, and you willing to help others, that's admirable. So,
And I hope and pray anybody is caught up in the system, if you're innocent now, only if you're innocent.
Yeah.
If you're innocent, you can contact me. Not just that, if you don't contact me, you can use my information. You can always, all my stuff is in the court system. You can search it, Google it up. You can get all the documents you need, and you see how this corrupt system is working. And you might be able to assist you in your case. Listen, everybody gave me a deaf ear also. They don't want to show this. They don't want to expose this.
Yeah.
You're doing a courageous thing, man. That's why I think you should be the mayor.
Yeah.
What you're doing is courageous, man.
Yeah.
You know, everybody don't want to step up. You know, everybody wants to say, oh, no, if I say this, I might not get that. I might not get this. I might get blackballed. Listen, if that's what you call blackball me.
Yep.
I don't need that, you know. Some things I don't need.